Welcome to the first edition of Aberdeen Calling, broadcasting to you from the Offshore Europe conference here at the Aberdeen Exhibition and Convention Center. We're celebrating the 40th anniversary of Offshore Europe, and later in the program we will be joined by show founder David Stott. But first, let's get a local perspective on Offshore Europe.
There's a huge influx of people into Aberdeen to support the oil and gas industry, and with that comes a huge boost to the local economy.
Every 2 years, the world oil industry makes its way to Aberdeen to attend Offshore Europe. The granite city, with its beautiful architecture and famous hospitality, throws open its doors for 4 days of conferences and exhibitions. With signs up all over town, it's hard not to notice Offshore Europe.
Yeah, I've seen offshore industry advertising as I've been coming into Aberdeen. And I'm planning on going this Friday to find out more about it and hopefully get some sort of experience there.
In a moment, we'll be joined by Offshore Europe founder David Stott, but now, a quick word from our sponsors. We're celebrating 40 years of the Offshore Europe conference this year, and we're joined by conference founder David Stott. Mr. Stott, can you tell me a little bit more about the inception of the Offshore Europe conference?
Certainly. We began in March 1973. It was called Offshore Scotland. The first event was held at the university, actually a tent in the chemistry car park, and also by one of the halls of residence. It was quite small. I think 140 companies took part. It was March. We were told we were mad because March in Aberdeen wasn't a good idea. The sun shone for 4 days. The tents got too hot, surprise, surprise, and the snow came on the day after the show finished. Then in 1975 we became Offshore Europe because obviously the event was going to grow as the oil industry grew, and that was quite a large event. But the problem was, for the first few shows, we didn't really have a proper infrastructure because, of course, we were only in tents. We did not have any exhibition centre.
How has the show developed? What are some other things that might be different this year than last year?
Well, I haven't been here for the last 10 years since I retired, but the impression I get is that enormous amounts of money has been spent on individual stands. A lot of extremely good design work has gone into these vast exhibition areas. And it's fairly obvious the industry is in a flourishing position in the North Sea also.
In the years ahead, over the next 40 years, what might this show look like 40 years from now?
I've absolutely no idea, but I can say that I remember the days 10 years ago more when the oil runs out. They were all saying the show had a lifespan of perhaps by about now, really.
Yeah.
Obviously that's wrong. The next 40 years I would think nothing but continuous development, technical development obviously, and commercial development. So I think it's got a great future.
Mr. Stott, thank you very much for joining us today. Now let's head inside and find out what some of the exhibitors are expecting from the show. With crews now putting the finishing touches on their booths, exhibitors are excited to get the show underway.
For ourselves as a company, we're actually releasing a new laser measurement subsea high precision tool at the show.
We see so many people that on the space of 3 or 4 days that we wouldn't see normally, that would maybe take us 5 or 6 weeks to go around everybody, but everybody comes to OE.
For many exhibitors, the show is a mandatory date on their calendar, and they return to Aberdeen year after year.
We've been coming here to OE for, must be getting on for about 10, 12 years now, exhibiting for probably the last 6.
Obviously, a lot of excitement surrounding this year's show from the exhibitors. Please join us again tomorrow for another edition of Aberdeen Calling.